Prophesying days of old, hallelujah. Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to the annual National Lutheran Choir Gala. Thank you for your support over the years, and thank you for being here. We plan to raise some record funds today for this choir. It's been an amazing year for the choir, and I want to thank all of you that are joining us online today. You're an integral part of this gathering today, too. Just a couple of words before we get started and raise lots of money for the choir. I just want to recognize a couple of people who are rotating off the board this June. First of all, Jason Langworthy, would you stand, please, so we can recognize you? And also Miss Karen Humphrey. Karen Humphrey. Where are you, Karen? Thank you. And to get this party started, I'd like to introduce my good friend and incoming board chair of National Lutheran Choir, Matt Helen.
Thank you. What an amazing weekend has been, and there is still more to come. If you're like me, you're feeling equal parts gratitude for the amazing tenure and legacy of David Cherwien and excitement about what is yet to come. And so to tell us more about what is yet to come, I'd like to introduce the chair of the search committee, to whom we all owe an incredible debt of gratitude. The search committee put in so much work to get us to where we are today. They did just a phenomenal job. And so please join me in welcoming and thanking Zeb Hyben.
My 9-year-old daughter, Cecilia, loves roller coasters and amusement park rides, especially the ones at Disney World, which, when you live in Durham, North Carolina, is close enough that trips can be more frequent than the wallet would like. Of course, the problem with Disney World is that you spend most of your time waiting in various lines for the all-too-brief experiences at the end of them. The rides are fast and exciting and adrenaline-generating, but before you know it, they're over. So if you can't find some joy in the anticipation, some pleasure in the work of standing in line, you probably best spend your vacation time somewhere else. The National Lutheran Choir community has spent a long time waiting in line for the ride of this weekend, ever since Dave Cherwien's retirement was first announced. When it's all over tomorrow night, it's gonna feel too short. But when we all wake up on Monday morning, we'll look back knowing that we filled these 3 days with as many musical thrills and spills, laughter and beauty as was humanly possible. We will have celebrated our beloved David and his 21 years at the helm of this ensemble. 21, did I count right? 21, 22? After 20, they start to blend together. And we will have set the stage for the next era of the NLC's history. I don't know if this time of waiting has been a joyful or an anxious one for you, except for the choir. I'm pretty sure it's been an anxious one for them, but maybe a bit of both. But through all that time, the Artistic Director Search Committee was very hard at work. From our first meeting in June of 2022 until we completed our task just a few weeks ago, there's been hardly a moment to pause or even notice if the metaphorical line was inching forward. Here's a few statistics about the search committee's work. After 4 months of initial meetings, DEI trainings, and planning sessions, we conducted 4 rounds of evaluation over 6 months. In those 4 rounds, we considered 63 candidates from 2 countries and 28 states, about 1,000 pages of written application materials, more than 350 minutes of rehearsal and performance footage submitted via Dropbox, 240 minutes of Zoom interviews, and then in March, with the singers and the board and the NLC staff, we spent 2 full days conducting in-person auditions and interviews with our finalist candidates. Altogether, I estimate that the search committee spent about 500 hours on this process, give or take, and I'd like to take just a second to recognize the members of the committee, several of whom are here today. This diverse group comprised past and present NLC singers, past and present board members, donors, partner organizations like Lutheran Summer Music, and high-profile conductors and thought leaders in the choral music field. So if you're here, search committee members, please stand as I call your name and remain standing until I've gotten through everyone. Dr. Greg Auney. Larry Duncan. Marta Edmond. Choir representative to the committee. Jody Gustafson. Ann Sponberg-Peterson. And in absentia, not able to join us today, Dr. Hilary Offelstadt, Dr. Anton Armstrong, Thomas Bandar of Lutheran Summer Music, Dr. Derek Fox, and I've saved for last my partner in crime and the vice chair of our committee, Ann Zilski. At the forefront of our collective mind as the search committee were a number of questions. Who is the National Lutheran Choir? That's not necessarily a given. We intentionally had people on our committee who were part of the broader choral world who didn't necessarily know the NLC. What does it mean for the National Lutheran Choir to be national? Is it to have a national presence through performances and digital content, through tours and recordings? Is it to have constituents and fans from beyond the choral mecca of the upper Midwest? Or, gasp, from outside of the Lutheran church traditions? Speaking of the Lutheran church traditions, what does it mean to be musically Lutheran? Is that simply a rootedness in chorales, or the Baroque-era music of Pretorius and Schütz and Bach? Or is it about the renowned upper Midwest choral tradition of our Lutheran colleges and schools? Or is it about populist hymn singing, or art music of the highest possible caliber and craft? Or maybe it's a posture, like Martin Luther's, which recognizes that tradition is a gift that should be examined carefully but not discarded lightly, while also acknowledging that there are other traditions, other styles, other musics, other means through which the grace and beauty of God is encountered. Or, hint, maybe it's all of these things, and the art in Artistic Director is about finding the balance between them. And finally, what does it mean to be a choir? A choir is an organized company of singers, that's the dictionary definition, but it is also a family. And anybody who's ever sung in or conducted a choir knows very well the joys and sorrows, the love and laughter and occasional bickering, and the many memories that such a family accrues as it grows, as it ages. There are folks in this room who can tell stories about the founding era of this family, who still know by heart every word and offbeat syncopation of Lord of the Dance, or Go and Tell John, or many of those famous and favorite Larry Fleming compositions. And there are singers in this room who remember that first tour with David to California in 2003, when we weren't entirely sure that the state of the choir's life and finances and the tour itself were going to be absolutely okay, and we sang in the Crystal Cathedral, and we sang for the Association of Lutheran Church Musicians, and we made it. Or ice storms that disrupted Christmas programs in St. Louis. Or annual choir tune-ups. Or the feeling that it's finally Christmas when David's music and Susan Cherwien's words combine at the Basilica. In a sense, over these long months, our committee was searching for an answer to all of those questions. We sought an experienced artist, an exceptional communicator, and an inspiring servant leader who would care for this choir family, further its musical growth, expand its audiences, and lead us into the next era of the National Lutheran Choir. And we think we've done pretty well. The thing my daughter has taught me about being a roller coaster fan is that as soon as you've ridden one, you jump right back in line for the next. It's been a great ride, David. For all that has been, we are so, so grateful. But we're lining up again. Our anticipation is great. And for all that is to come, we say yes.
us. Are we on? Am I? No. We're delighted that you're here with us this afternoon. And of course, you're wondering, why didn't Zeb go that next step and say who it is, right? I couldn't be happier with the results. And I wish you could have all seen the choir's reaction when we announced who it was. There was a spontaneous cheer that came from the choir that went on for quite a while. And I'm delighted because this is someone who came out of the Lutheran circuit, went to Luther College, but then has also been out in the world. So there's a world outside of the Midwest choral tradition that's alive and well. So I'm delighted to introduce Dr. Janaea Robeson as the next artistic director. We'll have one more thing to sing about, and that's how we want our light to shine, don't we? And in the future as well as right now. And we'll share this next song with you, an arrangement of Moses Hogan.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Glenn Flattabo. I am the longtime auctioneer here at NLC. But my real credentials are these. I grew up in Vinci Lutheran Church in Welmer, Minnesota, and I currently attend Gloria Dei Lutheran in St. Paul. And I will share with all of you, this organization has brought me so much personal joy in my life and our entire family. I've stood in front of you many times over the last decade, and I've asked for your support. I've asked you to get behind the choir and provide financial support to this mission. I have never stood in front of you on such a historic day, such a historic day. The theme of this event is From Strength to Strength. And the funds that we raise in the next few minutes will allow us to ensure that Janaea has strength, financial strength for this organization as we move into the future so she can realize her vision, she can bring the choir across our country, and thousands of people can enjoy music. And one more time, as a community, can we give Janaea a huge round of applause and a huge welcome? Janaea, we are blessed to have your leadership. We feel thankful that you are with us in Minnesota with NLC. Thank you for everything that you have done. In the next few minutes, you'll not only provide strength to the organization as we move forward, you'll also have an opportunity to honor David. And David, when I think of the legacy that you have of 2 decades, he essentially, literally, did 2 jobs, 2 full-time jobs in the last 2 decades. It is not just a legacy of leadership, David. I think the real legacy, and really what you've done, is you've brought the joy of music to hundreds of thousands of people across the globe. That's the legacy. And as a community, can we put our hands together for a remarkable man who has committed so much to us? David, thank you for everything that you have done, for your leadership, for your commitment, and being a really good person. So in this moment of history, this is the moment together that we can make the greatest difference. We are going to provide strength to this organization moving forward. And lastly, all of us together will have the opportunity to bring joy to so many people's lives. This afternoon, we have a legitimate chance to break a record and raise the most we've ever raised with this event. Let's do this right now as a community. Is there anyone willing to start by pledging $25,000 in our efforts? Anyone at the $25,000 level? Anyone at the $25,000 level? Yes! Here's our first one at $25,000. 251 at 25,000. Here's a second one, number 907. 3. Here's a third one, number 905 at 25,000. Number 905, that is 75,000. We've raised 75,000. We're at 75,000. We are going to the next level. How about 10,000? How many families this afternoon? Yes, number 913 at 10,000. Let's give her a round of applause. Number 442 at 10,000. Number 442 at 10,000. That is 2 at 10,000. That is 2 at 10,000. Anyone else? Here's another one at 10,000. Number 920 at 10,000. That is 3 at 10,000. That is 3 at 10,000. Anyone else at the $10,000 level at 10,000? We are going to the next level. How about $5,000? How many families? Yes, number 904 at $5,000. Number 146 at 5,000. Number 911 at 5,000. Number 910 at 5,000. Number 213 at 5,000. Brenda, thank you. Number 125 at 5,000. Number 125 at 5,000. Anyone else at the $5,000 level at 5,000? Before we move on, can we give all of the families that just pledged 25,000, 10,000, and 5,000 one more hand for their generosity and support? Thank you to all of those families. Absolutely amazing. We are going to the next level. How about $2,500? How many people this afternoon would be willing to pledge $2,500? Yes, number 328 at $2,500. 352 at $2,500. David, thank you. Number 200 at $2,500. Number 164 at $2,500. Number 406 at $2,500. Number 182 at $2,500. Number 461 at $2,500. 327 at $2,500, 169 at $2,500, 126 at $2,500, number 161 at $2,500, number 161 at $2,500. Let's give all of our $2,500 contributors a round of applause. Yes, number 245 at $2,500. Good job, Braxton. Number 245 at $2,500. She's been waving at me for 20 minutes. Number 225 at $2,500. Number 225 at $2,500. Thank you to all of our $2,500 donors. Absolutely amazing. We are going to the next level. How about $1,000? How many people? Yes, number 148 at 1,000, 303 at 1,000, 134 at 1,000, 201 at 1,000, 243 at 1,000. 459 at 1,000, 383 at 1,000, 229 at 1,000, 145 at 1,000, 138 at 1,000, 145 at 1,000, 307 at 1,000, 320 at 1,000, 318 at 1,000, 292 at 1,000, 281 at 1,000, 314 at 1,000, 221 at 1,000, 283 at 1,000, 273 at 1,000, 134 at 1,000, 303 at 1,000, 901 at 1,000, 357 at 1,000, 194 at 1,000, 806 at 1,000, 431 at 1,000, 278 at 1,000, 181 at 1,000, 414 at 1,000. Tom and Becky, it is so good to see you. 447 at 1,000, 352 at 1,000, 375 at 1,000, number 168 at $1,000, number 168 at 1,000. Anyone else at the $1,000 level? Number 252 at $1,000, number 252 at 1,000. Can we give all of our $1,000 contributors a round of applause? Thank you to all of our $1,000 contributors. Janaea, when you and I were standing outside and I said you're coming to a really great organization, I meant it. I mean, the passion is just remarkable. Nobody knows what I'm about to say other than myself and the woman who told me this. Not Tina. Where is Tina? Not Tina, not anyone. At 3:30, I'm standing right on the corner of the stage by Braxton, and Diane Fleming hands me a note, and I took a picture of it. And she said, Glenn, I want you to read this. And it says, for all that has been, thanks. To all that will be, yes. Diane and her family, of course, the founding family of NLC, they wanted to make a difference tonight and send the message that every single gift matters. And they are personally going to match every single remaining gift that we raise up to $20,000 in this moment. And they're doing this matching gift in honor of the singers who represent the heart and soul of this organization that have been here from as a part of this choir from the very beginning. And those folks are Steve Branstad, David Johnson, and Mark Euchre. Can we give those three gentlemen a round of applause? And Diane Fleming, a huge round of applause. They are going to match every... So every single donation will be matched dollar for dollar here on out, up to $20,000. How many people would be willing to pledge $500 and it'll be matched? Yes, number 362 at 500, 419 at 500, 347, 391 at 500, 201 at 500, 143 at 500, 222 at 500, 257 at 500, 290 at 500, 471 at 500, 218 at 500, 144 at 500, 299 292 at 500, 281 at 500, number 140 at 500, number 107 at 500, 279 at 500, 364, 417, number 299, number 330 at 500, 447, number 108 at 500, 102, number 196 at 500, 208 at 500, 159 at 500, 901 at 500, 259 at 500, 258 at 500, 354 at 500, 404, number 397 at 500, number 188 at 500, 410 at 500, 351 at 500, 349 at 500, number 122 at $500. Let's give all of our $500 contributors a round of applause. Thank you to all of our $500 contributors. We are doing great. We are going to the next level. How about $250? How many people? Yes, 342 at 250, 114 at 250, 324, number 104 at 250, 369, number 313 at 250, 119 at 250, 294 at 250, 378 at 250, 378. I have a husband and wife both pledging 250, I think. 261 at 250, 337, 344, 210 at 250, number 100 at 250, 173, number 171 at 250, 436 at 250, 247 at 250, 331, 174 at 250, number 157, 163 at 250, 232 at 250, number 153 at 250. Are you guys doing okay back there? That's a lot of numbers. Can we give all of our $250 contributors a hand? Thank you to our $250 contributors. We are going to the next level. How about $100? How many people would be willing to pledge $100? Anyone? Yes. Number 412 at $100, 267 at 100, 302 at 100, 440 at 100, 238 at 100, 269 at 100, 117, 216 at 100, 314 at 100, 129 at 100, 234 at 100, 401 at $100, number 412, 216 at $100, 139, 427, 425, 191, 121 at 100, 443 at 100, 338 at 100, 473 at 100, 206 at 100, 242 at 100, 387 at 100, 301 at 100. David, thank you. 148 at 100, 192 at 100, 394 at 100, 402. Number 368 at 100. 172 at 100, 160, number 149 at 100, 435 at 100, 370 at $100, 439 at 100, 305 at 100, 322 at $100, 437 at 100, 239 at $100, 395 at 100. Let's give our $100 donors a round of applause. Thank you to our $100 donors. And as our final level, how about $50? We're going to do the $50 level as well. Anyone at the $50? Yes, number 118 at $50. 277 at 50. Number 147 at $50. Number 103 at 50. Number 141 at $50. 285 at 50. 361 at $50. Number 1 at 21 at $50. Number 207 at $50. Number 207, 361 at $50. 361 at 50. Anyone else at the $50 level? Can we put our hands together for everyone coming tonight? Thank you for your help and your generosity. Absolutely amazing. So, two last words. Our original plan was to put up on the screen how much we raised, but we may have broken the computer. Tina's she's working on it. She's gonna do it. Oh, are you ready? And can I tell them the original? $305,000. $305,000. Absolutely amazing. But you need context for this number. Our stretch goal that we were hoping to raise this afternoon was $190,000 to $200,000. We're $100,000 over our stretch goal for the event. One last word, and then we're going to play David's video, his tribute video. In moments like this in transition, and they're important every day, but they're more important today than ever. We are super blessed to have the staff and the leadership that we do. Can we give Tina a huge round of applause and the entire NLC staff for all that they do? Thank you. Have a great afternoon, everybody. What a remarkable event. Tina, thank you for your leadership and everything that you've done for NLC. She's been with us for 14 or 15 years. Remarkable. And here's David's video.
The best summary I can make is to say that I don't know what my life would have been like if you and the choir had not entered it. The music I have heard and been a small part of through my relationship with you and NLC has literally been life-changing. Many thanks, and I wish God's blessings on all your new ventures, known and unknown.
Many congratulations to you on your stellar career with the National Lutheran Choir.
Well done, good and faithful servant. Thanks very much, David.
Thank you for inspiring so many with your music and for your generous and humble spirit.
David Cherwien. Dear David, congratulations on reaching this wonderful point in your life where you can look back on so many musical accomplishments, and particularly your work with the National Lutheran Choir, those wonderful recordings and concerts that you've given.
David, congratulations on this time, and know that you will be greatly missed. Thank you.
Your influence and your spirit will live on.
On behalf of all the members of the Association of Lutheran Church Musicians, congratulations, blessings, and many thanks for all the inspiration you have provided to us.
Here's to you, Dave. Congratulations on a job well done with NLC.
Hey, David, hooray for you. So go in peace, serve the Lord, and keep in touch.
I am grateful for what you've done for me, and I speak for all the other composers and conductors too. We are eternally grateful. All the best, to the best. Congratulations.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
It's been a joy and a privilege and an honor being a part of such beautiful and faith-filled music making.
Thank you for being willing to ask for more and charting a new course for the choir. I wish you all the very best this next chapter of your life.
Bravo, David. Well done.
Your friendship is forever in my heart, Inch. Congratulations. Soli Deo Gloria.
Congratulations on an amazing career and a great residency with the National Lutheran Choir.
It is well to celebrate what Dave has done and to express our gratitude. I am honored to be part of the celebration and to add my personal thanks.
Best wishes to you on your next journey. We are cheering you on, and I know this isn't the end of music making for you. It's just a new chapter. So thank you for all that you are and all that you do. You truly are a blessing and an inspiration.
David, congratulations on your retirement from the National Lutheran Choir and best wishes in your future musical endeavors.
Thank you for your great musicianship, your leadership, your humor, and your energy. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, and you will be missed, and we wish you well in your retirement.
Dave, from my heart, sincere congratulations on a marvelous 20 years with NLC. I do look forward to the wonderful things that you have in store for us, your joy, your humor, your creativity, with which you will bless us all in the future for many years to come. Soli Deo Gloria.
Looking better. I was saying, I'll start by quoting one of my favorite mentors, in addition to Alice Parker, Paul Mons, who when he got up to speak once said, "Before I speak, I have something to say." After that amazing Fundraising that we just went through, I was reminded of, not too long ago, I was at the grave of Sonny Bono. And his epitaph is, "The beat goes on." And here we are. I think before I get further into this, I just want to introduce my family, my two sons, Jeremiah and Ben. Where are you? Stand up. And their family. All of you stand. Up. The whole family. Come on now. There you go. Thanks. They've been very instrumental in the beat going on in my household, and I'm just very grateful for their support. Well, in the 1990s, some parishioner friends invited Susan and I to join them for the NLC Christmas concert. I'd been familiar with NLC. I've known them for quite a while, knew Larry Fleming. In fact, I got them on the program for a national conference of Association of Lutheran Church Musicians in Atlanta in 1993 because I was chair of the conference. And we were blown away by their work there. But that particular year when I was invited, we were invited to that Christmas concert. We had already been to several of the college programs, which were all wonderfully done. But the last thing I felt like doing was sitting through another program, Christmas program especially. But I was absolutely blown away by it. The intense dynamic contrast, the expressiveness, the warm and amazingly blended tone with outrageously cool vowels. Vowel movement is a good thing, daily, in fact. And of course, the second basses. Also, the programming was so unusual and unique. It sucked us all into the extent that we forgot all time and space. It was extremely unique and deeply meaningful. You felt a true encounter with God after that hour. And it was not long after that evening that Larry Fleming invited me to begin playing organ for the program, and I got to know another wonderful part of this group. They really enjoyed each other and cared about each other and loved having fun. I was in awe of this amazing artistic and spiritual gift. So when I was invited to actually take it on as artistic director, I felt like Moses, but I'm a youth. The pressure was on to keep all those attributes going that I had admired so much. And I was worried how that would look for them to hire an organist. And I was actually very worried about that. But we taught each other. I would hear an amazing vowel and say, "How'd you do that?" because I knew I had to learn how to teach that for the new singers that would come in. And that in order to keep that amazing sound I'd heard going. And I made sure that we did. We learned together over all these years. And not only did we grow together in that way, we stumbled into some amazing surprises, such as our mutual love of hymnody. And creating the hymns series, Hymns We Love to Sing, and the first recording was a total surprise. Who'd have thought? This was in a time when the church was exploring many other kinds of music and very infatuated by those forms and styles. But to have something like that have such a response to that really took us by surprise. In fact, Thrivent bought 180,000 copies of that CD to use as a member gift back then. And it's still, to this day, our best-selling recording of all. And people use it in hospice and in many contexts. And it started, I'll admit it publicly, at a bar after rehearsal. I was worried about the organist thing, so I wasn't going to do that with this choir. I thought, no, we're going to do choral stuff, keep that tradition. And I said, boy, I wish we could have this group do some hymns and a recording. And the people at the bar said, make it one of the programs. That was you, Steve Brandstad, and Roxanne. And Roxanne. I know Roxy is here too. Yeah. There you are. Yeah, you did that. We had no idea. And it had become, since then, an intrinsic part of who we are in our mission. And just to my delight and surprise, because I share that love. I played in a rock band once upon a time. And you know, you get tired of 3 chords after a while. Another unanticipated gift to our work together was that of my late wife, Susan. She helped carry forward Larry Fleming's love of poetry and prose, and was deeply a part of our work, a lot more than most people know. The Christmas Festival poetry, to be sure, all chosen by her, including this past year, because I just went through old programs of things she had picked before. But also every program we did, she was a part of. I'd bring it home, put it out on the table, and she'd move it around. And it would be perfect. And she would find a way that the program made more sense than anybody had known, including me. But also searching for new literature. Anybody who's conducted choral groups knows that's the endless thing we have to do, is look for that next piece, look for that thing that's different and worthy of our time, and not just a fad. And she was very helpful in that. And in just this general discernment, she'd go, why are you doing that piece? Yeah, you're right. Well, it pleased me that her work was finally formally recognized and culminated ultimately when we formally commissioned her to write the text for Lament of the Earth. And so she was treated in a very professional manner. I recused myself from that process, and the staff and board did that separately. But I was very, very pleased that she was honored that way, as text writers often are not. And but sadly, she passed away before its premiere performance. But she did hear it and see the piece, and heard it on a computer-generated version. But I couldn't stand here before you today without acknowledging what a huge contribution she made behind the scenes. And I'm very grateful. And Susan's sister Nancy is here from California too. You can wave an arm, you don't have to stand up. In those early years, the board told me, think big. I did. Organists tend to do that. A tour to San Diego in spring of 2003 seemed almost ridiculous and totally out of reach. We had no money. Oh, let's go to San Diego. But we did. donors came through. The choir came through. The situation paved the way, and we went and sang for the Association of Lutheran Church Musicians, thanks to some of my friends there. And it was, in my recollection, a turning point. We were on our way. The beat was going on. We were still strong after the first and most difficult transition, going from founding era to the next era. And the big thinking went on for 21 years for me, and we had many, many amazing experiences and performances, such as bringing the Christmas festival to St. Louis for many years. And Steve Rock is here, who helped us do that every year. Where are you, Steve? In St. Louis. So during all this time, thinking big and constantly working towards what's fresh and new, we worked at staying relevant, exploring and embracing new music, and expanding the realm of sacred music. Understanding Lutheranism as something that's living and growing. It's not just a historic concept. It's much, much more than that. And we were allowed to do all that because of people like you who supported us and helped us do those things. For us, it's less about the money as it is about what we want to do with it, or what we want to do once we can do it. That made no sense. Ignore that. So I had often thought that if I were to retire from the choir, I would want to do so when things were strong, not out of apathy or for some bad event or reason, but when the choir and its singers are strong, when the board is strong, when the finances were strong, when our audiences and volunteer participation was strong. We're there. We are there. And I'm so delighted to see that it's going to easily go on, thanks to you. So now I will step away from the podium, well, in a minute, I guess. I will step away from that podium and will join you as supporter myself and fan of the choir. I will certainly be at every concert I can, and with my report card. But also financially, of course, I will continue that support because I know it's needed for the choir to go on. I care about this gift, the singers, and what they do. I desperately want it to stay strong. And following an amazingly crafted and executed search process presided over by Zeb and Anne, coordinated by superhero Chris Rongstad. The appointment of Janaea Robeson tells me we are on our way again, and we are strong. I couldn't be happier when I heard the choir spontaneously cheer when we announced her appointment. Here is an experienced, skilled, personable person at the height of her career, in demand as workshop leader all over, who comes out of the Lutheran college system but also has been out and about in other places. All experiences from which we will benefit, no doubt. So let's help and encourage them to think big. I like the start. I certainly will, and let's see what new surprises we stumble upon. They might be different ones than what we've been before, but if we open our eyes wide, we can greet it and greet it eagerly. So I want to thank you on behalf of the choir for your support, to be sure, but I also want to thank you for support of me in my time with the choir, and indeed, Soli Deo Gloria, which means to God be the glory.
Thank you, David. That's been a lot of music in the last 21 years, but everyone in this room knows, and those of you who are in our virtual audience, knows that it's more than just the music. We've made a lot of memories. It's about the relationships, and it's about the love that we all feel for one another, and we extend that to you. But I just want to say that I may have underestimated our fundraising goals for today. I think I was the one that had said to Tina and to Glenn Flatabo that if we hit the $200,000 mark, we would have a great afternoon. So thank you. You far exceeded that. So just a couple of final thank yous before we leave and maybe head to the bar. I know this crowd. First of all, we thank the NLC staff, but we wanted you to come forward. I know you're still working, but can all of you come? Paul, Sarah, Chris, and then where's Tina? I don't see Tina. I thought that might be the case, but why don't the three of you at least come? We can greet Tina later and thank her in absentia, but Sarah Anderson and Paula Rudor. Just hold on for a photograph. I'm sorry Tina's not here. Okay, thank you so much. I've been working with these folks for the last several months to put together the gala. I think it's been a great success. Also, I just want to recognize the board that just finished up their year, the year for National Lutheran Choir. They've done an amazing job, especially Brenda Bartz, who is the outgoing chair. I've already announced who the incoming chair is, but Brenda, would you stand first? You've done yeoman's work this year. And you know what? Why don't we have the entire board come up here, because I'm sure we'd love to get a photograph of the entire board. So Sandra, others, yes, Paul, Matt, come on up. Let's get a photograph with the board. And David. And Janaea. Janaea, could you come up? Thank you, National Lutheran Choir Board of Directors. I have one final announcement. So, some of you may have been playing a game during the social hour. Maybe you know that Janaea is not the only new director in town. We also have another new director coming to Minneapolis. His name is Thomas Sondergaard. Hope I'm saying that right. So, the winner of that game, which was called the Land of 10,000 Choirs, will receive a ticket to a choral series, a series of choral concerts at the Minnesota Orchestra, and an invitation to a reception with the new Artistic Director of Minnesota Orchestra. So quite the prize. Now here's what you need to know. He's going to show, Paul, you're going to show a slide, and if your card matches those 5 attributes, then you are the winner. In that order. Oh, thank you, Paul. Sorry. So all I want to say is take a look at your cards. If you're the winner, go see Paul Radoy. He has your prize, your certificate to those Minnesota Orchestra tickets. And now, that concludes our gala. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your generosity. I'm sure we'll hear your generosity in the years and months to come.